Welcome back to my channel Limelight Leaks. Please share and subscribe and hit the bell icon for new updates. Everyone loves Dolly Parton. This amazing famous person has done everything from singing, writing songs, and acting to being a great businesswoman and giving her life to helping others. The star has not missed anything when it comes to winning our hearts. She has won the Grammy Award 13 times and has been put 10 times in the Guinness Book of World Records, something only she can say she did in the Hollywood world. Her career has lasted over an incredible 50 years, with people calling her a country music legend, and she became one of the best-selling music artists of all time. All these amazing things would make you think she was born into a famous family, but the truth is completely different. As she celebrates rocking the world for almost 80 years, let's look at the surprising truth of Dolly Parton's past. Her incredibly poor beginnings. Dolly Parton did not always have the money and fame she has now. In fact, when she was young, she did not even have her own room. She was born to a very poor family, the fourth of 12 children, and lived in the smallest two-room house in a poor neighborhood. Her father worked as a farmer who rented land in East Tennessee and often had to work small building jobs here and there to take care of his growing family. Even though he couldn't read or write and was poor, however, Dolly Parton often talked about how smart he was when it came to business and making money, finding smart ideas and clever tricks to make sure he could earn as well as possible. His hard work paid off and he was later able to take care of his own tobacco farm even though she was young then and could not understand the family's terrible situation properly. She looked up to her hard-working father and was inspired by him since then. She gave him credit for her business-smart mind and the inspiration that led her to become a successful business owner. Her mother was also an amazing person even though she had many things that needed her attention at once. She was a full-time stay-at-home mom taking care of Parton and her 11 brothers and sisters at just 35. She also had many health problems because of their poor living conditions and her many pregnancies. But she never failed to cheer her children up through many fun activities she did with them. Parton said her early love for music came from her mother, who often entertained her children with Smoky Mountain stories and old songs that she had learned from her Welsh background. Dolly Parton also talked about how uncomfortable it was to live with so many people in a tiny space, with summers being too hot in their heat and winters being so cold, they all had to stay close together for any warmth. About her brothers and sisters, she said that the kids peed on me every night. We slept 3 and 4 in the bed. I would wash every night, and as soon as I go to bed, the kids would get wet on me and I'd have to get up in the morning and do the same thing. She even went on to tell people, surprisingly, that being peed on sometimes felt like a relief because it was the only warm thing she knew during the tough winter time. In interviews, she described her family as dirt poor, talking about how her father had paid the doctor that delivered her with cornmeal. Many of her early songs had also talked about her family's struggles, such as Coat of Many Colors and In the Good Old Days When Times Were Bad. However, even with their struggles, they stayed close to God, going to the local church regularly. It was in these church meetings that Parton found her love for performing, since she often went on stage to sing in the church choir when she was as young as 6 years old. She got her first homemade guitar at 7 and decided to write her first song ever, which was called Little Tiny Tassel Top in 1953. Moved by her love for music and willingness to learn, her uncle bought her a real guitar when she turned 8. Soon her career was growing into success as she began appearing on local radio stations and TV programs, going on The K.S. Walker Show when she was just 10. During her teenage years, she had already written several popular singles, including 2 top 10 hits, which showed a bright future career. Her uncle, Bill Owens, who had been watching her performance, decided to give her a real chance at singing, which started the beginning of her escape from being poor. He helped her with her songwriting work, helping her whenever she asked for help. Her first official signing and record label was also through her uncle with Tree Publishing and Mercury Records in Nashville. It was also in Nashville that she met her first love, later husband, road paving businessman, Carl Thomas Dean. Parton later talked about how he also had poor beginnings, and together they had never been a couple that cared for fancy things. They had met when she was 18. And still in the early stages of her career while he was working hard at the road. One of their first dates being at McDonald's. And the most interesting thing about their relationship is that it has been going strong ever since it began. For Dolly and Dean, there was an instant spark between them, and they knew they would be spending the rest of their lives together. They got married in Ringgold, Georgia on May 30, 1966 and have been together ever since. The surprising thing is that Dean himself hates being famous and rarely goes to any events with Parton, choosing to keep himself away from the public eye. This led to many fans wondering whether their relationship was truly strong or if they were strangers, to which Parton cleared the air, saying that they might not spend time together on camera, but they had a wonderful life behind it. She said that they were both proud of their marriage, and it was the first and last for both of them, even talking about how romantic and thoughtful Dean was to her in private, making bouquets of her favorite flower and bringing them to her with little poems he writes himself. Their marriage has been going strong for almost 60 years, and Dolly couldn't be happier. However, even with their strong marriage, and Dolly herself being a motherly person to almost everyone, the couple has decided to not have any kids of their own. For Dolly, kids were never one of the most important things she wanted out of life. And she does not feel bad about her decision to not have them because of how they might have changed her life and career and been changed by the state of the world. In her own words, she always says God didn't let her have children so that all kids could be mine. Another reason for this might have been her health, since the singer was told she had endometriosis at the age of 35, a sickness that causes extreme pain since the lining of the womb begins growing somewhere else in the body and leads to troubles with pregnancy and health. It could also be that she grew up seeing what it was like to have kids and the effect it had on her as an older sister, and her parents as caretakers, which, without her knowing, put her off the whole thing. But even without kids, she has been an amazing internet parent to us, and raised many of her nephews and nieces as if they were her own. She is also the godmother of the American singer-songwriter Miley Cyrus. An interesting fact about Dolly Parton is that, unlike most Hollywood stars, her friendships with her friends have been strong and long-lasting. For example, her best friend Judy Ogle has been with her ever since she was a kid, making their friendship 64 years strong. Rather than being jealous of her success, Ogle has always been helpful and kind to Parton, which is rare in today's world, in which people are quick to pull each other down. Perhaps it is her own specially kind nature that always makes people love Dolly Parton. On top of her work in Hollywood, Parton has also been someone who gives a lot and fights for causes that has given her time, energy, and money to support different causes throughout her life. She has built a Dollywood Foundation which gives money to reading and educational causes, which has a program called Dolly Parton's Imagination Library that she started in honor of her father who never learned to read or write. She also promised $500,000 towards the building of a cancer center in the name of Robert F. Thomas, the doctor who delivered her. She was also one of the leading country music artists who raised money for the victims of the 2016 Great Smoky Mountains wildfires. During the recent pandemic, she gave $1 million to Vanderbilt University Medical Center, which helped research and develop Madna's CO9 vaccine. Dolly Parton is truly a gift that keeps on giving and has been an inspiration to everyone despite her surprising and poor past. She has turned her riches into something that helps all people, and instead of keeping wealth decided to multiply it by giving it to worthy causes. An icon to the end. What is your favorite Dolly Parton fun fact? Tell us in the comments below.